What's up, YouTube? All right, who's ready for another Build-A-Figure wave? Put together. All right, so I've got the Bane Last Night on Earth Build-A-Figure put together video, review, instructional, however you want to word that. I'm not really sure. I don't care. Whatever you like, we'll word it that way. And as long as you watch my video and let me put him together and you watch it, I'm cool with that. All right? Deal? Deal. All right. So let's go ahead and start with, let's do a PSA at this point. I know the PSA for this is, I know there's been issues with the legs. I hope that doesn't happen. We'll address that when we come to that, okay? I'm very well aware of the situation with the legs. So let's go ahead and get into it, and let's start with, I guess we'll start with the body, because that's obvious. So I've got the Scarecrow box right here, so I'm going to kind of, if you see me looking down, that's what I'm reading. Okay, so the number one is the body from Scarecrow. Okay, so the next thing you need are from number two. From number two is a Wonder Woman. You need the arms, okay? So the arms are pretty self-explanatory. You pop them in the holes. Peg, hole, boom. Okay, so boom. Look at him. One arm down. All right, so this arm, the green arm, the one with the green hoses, that's the right side. Okay, so you take that. Apply pressure. All right, man. Let's Central. Boy, look at him. Look, boom. Hey, he can't even put his arms down. He is a big old boy already. All right, so number three, from the Last Night on Earth, you get the two fists. Boom. And you get the Bane head. Bam. All right, so let's go ahead and put the Bane head on. So you take the hole. See the hole? See it? See it? Boop. See, there it is. Take the peg. All right. Pretty easy. Pretty self-explanatory. All right, we'll fumble around with it a little bit. All right. There you go. Okay. I think the best thing to do, what I had to do just now, is to kind of set it on there, like take it down. I don't know if I took it down and just kind of let it rest on there first and then push. Okay? That seems to be the easiest way for me, at least. But he is on there. He is good to go. Boop, boop. Look at that. That dude's head is tiny. Looks like Pinhead from Puppet Master. Okay. Boom. Hand. So, peg, tab, however you want to word it, hole. Okay. So, we'll just, that didn't pop or anything. That just kind of fits in there. That's pretty easy. Okay. Peg, hole. Okay. Bam. All right. So, those do not pop or anything, and mine did not pop or anything. It just kind of went in there. Okay. So, number four is Omega with the legs, okay, or from Omega with the legs. Okay, this is going to be the nerve-wracking part. All right, so it says left in here, so that's pretty obvious. So we'll take the left side of the body, okay, and we'll pop it on there. Come on, baby. All right, so I'm going to have to do the heating method. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and heat this one up, and I'm going to get this one on, and then we'll do the right, and we'll do the same thing, okay? So, or should I just show you, and then when I pop them on? Okay, so the right has an R on it as well, and then bam. Okay, so heating method. All right, so heating method. For some of you newbies out there, let me move everything. Okay, this is called a heat gun. I don't know if I'll include this in the video or not, because this is kind of dangerous, but be careful when you do this, because this thing gets really hot. You can use boiling water, soak it in boiling water, and it'll lube this up. I just use a heat gun, okay? Heat gun, you wheel it over the top. Watch. See that? It's like a hair dryer. Oh, I just put that in my face. Don't do that. Okay, this thing gets super, super hot if you use a heat gun. You can also use a hair dryer, okay? Hair dryer will definitely help, or not a hair dryer, blow dryer. You know, your wife or your mom or whoever's probably got one. Just take that portion right there and just kind of whirl it around. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing, okay? So I got the heat gun, just kind of, don't leave it in place. I put mine on low too. Mine's got a low and a high. I put mine on low. I just kind of get this. Just kind of heat it up. Make sure that this is pliable here. Oh. You want it to be a little soft. Not too much, not a lot. Just kind of move it around, because if you leave it right there, it'll soak in. I mean, it'll melt the plastic, and you don't want that. People do this for, like, what do you want to call it, for customization and things like that. And, you know, a lot of these people know what they're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you got to be careful. So me, I'm not real big into customization, but I know how to do a little bit of heat work. Now when your figure's legs come in and they're all crooked and lopsided. All right. Leg one on. See that? Now, what you'll have to do, I'll have to let him rest before I can do articulation. I'll have to let him rest a little bit, and then I'll come back and do articulation once I get the right leg on. Alright. Okay, deal. Look at that. Boom. It's that simple, folks. It's not that hard. Don't be alerting Hasbro, the McFarlane. Now your figure's legs don't work. They work. You just gotta think outside the box. Take a little heat gun, and you can fix her up real quick. No, in this situation, you can fix him up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this guy a break. Give him a rest, and we'll probably come back. I'll probably come back tomorrow just to make sure that everything is cooled and everything is good. And I'll probably do the articulation tomorrow. So if half this video I'm in a different t-shirt, that's because I waited till tomorrow to do it, because I think that's the safest bet with this big guy. So I'm going to let him sit here, rest overnight. I'm going to stand him up, as you can tell. I'm going to stand him up, let him rest in the way he would stand. Get him nice and flush so he doesn't fall over in the middle of the night, because that's the worst thing that could happen, is he fall over and be loose. Okay, so remember, caution with the heat gun. Use boiling water. Use boiling water, or you could even use a hair dryer or blow dryer. Blow dryer will take longer. See how quick I did that? That's because my heat gun gets a lot hotter and a lot faster. Boiling water is going to take longer, and you're going to mess with the whole leg itself. So, depending on what your application may be, boiling water may work better, and a blow dryer may work better too, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. But my heat gun, bam, he'd heat it up, especially on high. On high, I could have done that in 3 seconds, but I also could have burnt it, or melted it. And so that's why I put it on low, just kind of move it around a little bit, kind of get it nice and pliable, and it pops right on there. You should have seen beforehand, it wouldn't go on there at all. All it took was just a few minutes. Y'all saw that. Not even, like a minute of just swirling around on the heat gun, and bam, it popped right on there. No problem, no issues. So, like I said, I'm going to give this guy a break, and I'll probably pick this video up again tomorrow. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is my first ever video. I actually had to stop recording in the middle of it and pick it up at a later date. 2 days later, I can pull on them. I'm not pulling a whole lot of effort into it, but you can see they're on there. And all it took was a little bit of heat and a little bit of effort, and it went right on. Actually, once I heat them up, it didn't even take much effort. They went right on there. So let's go ahead and get into, since he's got all together now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the articulation of this big giant. And so let's get into it. All right, so head, that's looking down, looking up. His head does not have much movement at all. He can 360, but his neck is so wide. His little head is just sitting on top of that. There is not much movement at all in his tiny head with his big old neck. Arms, that's you know, shoulders up. Man, yeah. Bicep. His hands, I can tell you right now, his hands, they don't have to be heated up. They are very, very easily, they fall out pretty easily on my figure. He only has single jointed elbows, which I don't really understand with this big old guy. Doesn't have a lot of movement in his elbows. I mean, there is little to none, but he does have the swivel in his elbows because he has no bicep swivel or anything. So he has the swivel there. See, I wasn't even hardly doing nothing and knocked his hand out. So hands, I'm not impressed with. The legs, that was an easy fix. The hands, that's an oversized thing. You can't fix that unless you, I mean, I could put some glue or something around the outside of it, maybe tighten it up a little bit. But I'm really disappointed in his hands. Let's go ahead and the articulation of his hands. I mean, they wobble like this because it's just that plug in. But he does have, you can swivel them. They do stay in okay, but don't be upset if you knock them out. They do go back in, but he does have a swivel wrist in and out on both sides. Both arms are pretty much the same. No big difference. He does not have an ab crunch. There's not much. It's kind of a swivel right here at his base, at his waist. So you can get side to side, but ab crunch, that's not even backwards. You're not really getting anything. Legs, I'm going to be real careful with moving his legs since what the problem is with his legs that I can see is they gave him some shorts. So I'm trying to show you guys. There's a little short section right here. I should have showed you before I put his legs on, but these shorts are not connected to his body. They're like cloth. They're like rubber over the top of him. So you can see like that right there. There's a hard portion and then there's this rubber piece. That's his belt, but the shorts are kind of the same thing. I can't really show you that all that well because it's more down in the bottom there. But the shorts are pretty much the same thing. The shorts kind of, like I said, that's one of the biggest issues, these shorts, which are actually his pants that lead into this, but they look like shorts without his legs. You can see it. If you ever get him, you'll know what I'm talking about right away. Not the best design in McFarlane's portion in there. And you're not moving his legs much at all. His legs are pretty much where they're at. I mean, there's not much maneuverability because of this hard plastic short area. So really a letdown in that aspect. You do get a swivel up here now since he is a Build-A-Figure. He has a single jointed knee, not much at all. I mean, and they're thick, and I would be afraid I'd pop that back off messing with that. So not really impressed with this big guy overall. I like the look of him, but they definitely could have done a better job building him with some of these aspects. But he has the better ankles than most. He has more of like a Hasbro ankle than he has no ball joints, so that's nice. But I think in this, and he does have a toe crunch. So I think in this aspect, he's got some really good pieces to him, but he's got some really pieces to him as well. So the last thing I want to show you guys, overall, I'm not really that pleased with him. I do think he looks great. I really think he looks cool. Excuse me. But like I said, you're not going to get the articulation or the maneuverability that a big character like this should have. I mean, he should really have a lot of maneuverability that he does not have. I mean, think about how big he is. He's got tons of plastic. They could have easily done a double swivel here. I mean, not done this armband or moved this armband up a little bit and gave us the double swivel or the double jointed elbows. They could have gave us, instead of doing this plastic short crap, they could have made it all one piece. I'm not real sure why they opted for that. The legs are not two pieces, so why would the crotch be two pieces? All right, last thing I want to show you is I want to put Scarecrow on him and kind of show you that. And that'll be the end of this video. So, okay, the only reason why I'm including this portion of it is because he kind of goes with Bane. It's not really part of the Build-A-Figure, but, he's supposed to be with Bane. So he has a little tab right here in his guts. If you want to go check out my Scarecrow review, I'll show you this a little bit as well, and I put it on just the body piece. But you know what? This is part of it, so I'm going to go over it again. This right here is just a little tab, and he has a little hole right there, and it isn't the easiest thing to do because you got this noose in the way, and this piece right here, this tab, is just about as big as that hole is. So it's a very, very tight squeeze. So what you got to do is just kind of get it up here. I'm trying to show you what I'm doing. And then you just kind of have to wiggle. And that knob moves super easy. So it is literally not the easiest thing to do. They should have made that a little smaller. See, there you go. I got it. And then you just wiggle it in. And then kind of position him where you want to position him. So, all right, there you go. There they are together. So, not the coolest thing in the world, but it is pretty neat. I like it, you know. I mean, they definitely look really creepy together. I like this way Scarecrow looks. In my opinion, I think they should have been sold together, but, you know, it is cool. It's no big deal. Overall, still a cool concept. My biggest complaint is the fact that Scarecrow's kind of hard to put on, and his maneuverability, and the hands popping off, and his maneuverability is just bad. So, this is back to McFarlane being one of those. This is like the DC line of years ago, the New 52 line. They looked amazing. Anybody collected the New 52 line knows that they looked amazing, but they had crap articulation. I mean, that was some of the worst articulated figures ever, but man, they look great. McFarlane's doing the same thing, and most of their figures, their articulation is garbage. The ball joints are terrible, and you know, but they look amazing. Like, you can't beat the look of them. They just have such a great look sitting on your shelf. And they'll beat a Hasbro looking figure any day. I mean, like, just the overall, you know, design is great. Well, overall, I shouldn't say design. Overall look of them is great. Design, and you know, that's not the best, in my opinion. I think that's it for today. I know that's a weird review, but you know what? It is a cool one. I'm excited to finally have a Bane in my collection. I was always missing one. So he'll look good with Killer Croc and, you know, Clayface. I don't have a lot of villains. I'm more of a superhero kind of guy. Sorry, but now G.I. Joe, I'm rooting for Cobra every single time. I know. Star Wars, I'm rooting for the freaking Galactic Empire. Oh, unless it's the prequels, then it's Galactic Republic all the way. Hoorah! I'm a clone guy. Leave me alone. All right, that's it for today. You guys take care. Happy hunting, and remember, it's just plastic.